Hello again, wonderful art or possibly art teachers soon to be. Welcome to part 2 of what it is really like to be an art teacher. For those of you watching for the first time, you may have already seen from the channel name that my name is Ellie and I'm an art teacher who teaches in a university, and I teach the last 2 years of high school there. If you haven't already, please go and watch part 1 to this video, which I will link up here. In part 1, I show a short snippet of my day as a teacher in isolation, and I also show 3 things that you need to know about becoming an art teacher or beginning a teaching career in general. In this video, I will be discussing the other 2 key topics, and they are important qualities for you to learn and adapt into your teaching career, as well as the highlights and lowlights of this career choice. Make sure that you stick through to the end of this video, where I will give some recommendations of this career choice as an art teacher and whether or not it would be suitable for you. As I say in every video, please pop this one a big thumbs up and give it a big like. Also, please subscribe to see helpful art tips and tutorials to get you creating. And also, I would really like your help to grow this channel, so would really appreciate that. So to begin, we will start with the qualities and the traits that will help you develop not only as an art teacher, but also as an individual. So these qualities are so important and will make such a difference to you as a person and to your teaching practice. So some of these are applicable to teaching in general, not necessarily an art teacher. So you could use these even if you decide not to actually teach art itself. So the first one is to be yourself. And this is key when teaching. And yes, you're going to have students that you may not mesh with and who may not even like your personality, but that's perfectly okay. Starting out, I found this really difficult as I was trying so hard and doing my best for the students, and I wanted to, deep down, I found I wanted to be liked in return. After a while, I realized that this was my own insecurities coming through, and that I needed to learn to be okay with not being liked. I learned the fact that I am there to be a part of my students' art journey and to guide them and contribute to them in that way, rather than to be liked or accepted as a person myself. So ensure that you are being yourself and being your true and authentic you, and you will notice that if you're ever staging anything or being false in any way, that especially the older year levels, they really notice and they will really pick up on that, and they can definitely see through it. So the second quality that you need is that you need to enjoy creativity. So this might sound quite obvious being an art teacher, but when I was at university studying with others who were also trying to become art teachers, that often some of them wanted to do that subject or teach that subject because they thought it would be an easy subject to teach. They were under the impression that the school students that they were teaching would be creating, and all they would need to do would be subjectively mark the work and then next on to the next one. So it was based on their own opinions of whether they thought the work was good or not. Well, this is quite the opposite really, because you really need to be there with the students along this whole process, guiding them through the process individually. And you need to guide them through based on the marking criteria, as well as developing their individual techniques and skills. You are also marking large quantities of creative work, some written, some visual. And so if you don't enjoy creativity, then not only are you doing a disservice to yourself, but you're also doing a disservice to your students. Along with enjoying creativity, I have found that developing and practicing your own art practice really gives you the confidence to demonstrate and teach the technique and skills that you have learned along your own art journey. When starting out as an art teacher, this really helps your students have the confidence in your abilities, your knowledge, and your skills through your practice. And it helps them feel relatable to you as well. In fact, I started this channel for my own art students as I needed to find a way to teach art technique without physically being with them in the classroom. It has really helped me get back into my own practice and help develop my own skills and art technique for me to demonstrate as well. The next trait that you need to have to be a teacher is to learn patience. Now, patience is a quality that some may have more than others, and it may come naturally to some more than others. Students are individual people just like anyone else, so they need to have that respect and that time taken out of your time so that you can give them that attention or give them that extra detail and explanation that they might need. Because you have so many different personalities, you will get tested. And personally, I feel that I needed to exercise patience a lot more when I was physically in the classroom than I do now, because there was so many numerous distractions, such as each other, mobile phones, noises in the hallway, people coming into the classroom. Yes, at times I do find myself getting impatient or frustrated, but usually this is because of an imbalance in my own life, whether I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm not eating healthy, I'm not exercising properly. And so these things really have an effect also on your patience and how you act in the classroom. Sometimes you will say things that you regret, and even if it's just in the tone of your voice. The last thing that you want to do is upset or alienate a student because of a bad experience in art or a task that they may never want to ever try again, and it may have hurt them in the long term. Just know though that it's okay to mess up. Students are very forgiving and also very resilient. As long as the majority of the time you are exercising patience and encouragement. Most of all, they want to know that you are on their team and there for them in their learning. The next quality that you need to learn is you need to be accountable. So as a teacher, you have so many responsibilities, especially in the last 2 years of high school. Essentially, you could be partly responsible for whether your student gets into that art school or that design school that they've dreamt of since they were a child. So if things go pear-shaped along the way, it's always important that you can back yourself up and explain why you've made the decisions that you have made. Especially when it comes to marking. Why would their work be worth a 7 out of 10 instead of an 8 out of 10? You also need to be modelling accountability and responsibility to your students so they can be accountable for their own work and their own learning as well. So the next quality that you need to learn is to be responsible and learn to be good at it. Some people like responsibility and some don't, so make sure you are ready for this before you start teaching, because you're going to have plenty of it. Personally, I thrive off it and I enjoy having the ownership and power over my own decisions. So as a teacher, you are responsible for ensuring that your students are learning and achieving in their academic performance. You are responsible for the necessary reporting of behaviour, whether that's mental or physical, any concerning conversations that you have with your students regarding physical or mental well-being. You are responsible for the writing and planning of your own subject, so ensuring that it fits within curriculum requirements, that it's accessible, and that it complies with school rules and policies. You're responsible for setting assessments, marking work, ensuring that marks are submitted by deadlines, meeting school expectations, attending meetings, completing accompanying administration, and ensuring that your registration requirements are up to date in your country and state. So for me, that means completing 20 hours of professional development. And this is training that you complete yourself that connects to your role. The next quality that you need to have is that you need to learn to be able to multitask. Doing all of these things means a lot of multitasking. At first I found this difficult, but now I've learned to just do one thing at a time after another, so then I can put my sole focus on that one thing that I'm doing. Sometimes this is challenging because you will get interrupted when you've got a big full room of bubbly art students. The next quality is you need to plan well. It's important to have a plan and a structure to your lessons. If I'm underprepared, then I feel things go off track and I'm a little bit all over the place. However, if I'm overprepared, I feel that they don't flow well and it just doesn't allow the lesson to flow naturally. Personally, when starting out, I overplanned way too much. And I felt that I never ever stuck to exactly what I planned. Now I have a main learning intention and goal for the lesson with a general structure, and I feel I have the flexibility to teach the lesson and be myself through. The last two qualities are to be flexible and adaptable. So like I said, things pretty much never go exactly to plan. And I believe that it's important that students are able to be themselves and to be able to express themselves with freedom. So being adaptable means that you need to be able to adapt your learning content to all different learning styles. Sometimes this can be quite tricky, but just ensure that you have some visual content in there. You've got some written tasks, you've also got audio for hearing, and also some doing activities and tasks that they can do to be able to understand exactly what the particular aspect, technique, or art term is that you're talking about. Now that we've finished talking about the qualities that you need to learn to be an art teacher, now let's go through the highlights and lowlights of this career choice. So I'm going to start with the lowlights first because I believe that this is less important. So the first low light that I'm going to discuss is fatigue, so feeling tired all the time. So before I started teaching, while I was doing my teacher training, I saw many teachers struggle a lot with feeling tired all the time. I never really thought that this would happen to me, as I see myself as a pretty fit person, and so I thought this would be the thing that helped me when I was on the job teaching. Well, I was so wrong. Yes, being fit and doing exercise definitely does help your stamina in the classroom. However, I felt that because I'm an introvert and I need that extra time to recharge, I get quite emotionally drained, and therefore this makes me feel physically drained. When this happens, I know that I need to just take a break, go for a walk, do some painting, drink a comforting drink, just do something that I know will help to recharge me. It is getting close to the September holidays here, and I do admit that I am feeling the constant fatigue and I do need that time now to recharge. If you do feel this yourself, then please remember to make sure that you take that time for recharging, because you can't give yourself emotionally if you have nothing left to give. Another low light of being an art teacher is the lack of time. In part 1 of this video, you would have seen there are a lot of tasks involved in being an art teacher, and there are still many more. Sometimes I find it so difficult to get the amount of things done that I want to get done in a limited amount of time. This is where time management comes in, and it's a really important skill to have. Personally, this is one of the reasons that I work part-time. I just need to have that recharge time, and I feel that I can't do my job well if I'm constantly rushing and don't have enough time to get things done. Another low light is stress. Dealing with people, issues, deadlines, fatigue, and all the things that come with this type of responsibility can be very stressful. Now, stress, of course, will differ for a lot of people, and I personally do tend to feel stressed quite easily. Especially when trying to do too many things at once, my automatic mode when I get stressed goes into emotional thinking rather than logical. Thankfully, it helps to have other teachers in my life that support me, and also other people such as my husband, and really help me sort out my thoughts, and he helps me think logically through things and tackle things one by one. The last low light is that you see others go through pain and trauma in their lives. This is sometimes very hard to see, and it comes with the nature with this type of career choice. Especially in art, you will see students express their emotional and even physical pain through their folio and artworks. Sometimes this just breaks my heart, and I know at the time that the only thing I can do is offer my kindness and support. You may also hear of awful incidents or occurrences that happen to your students, and this could be in or outside of their homes. So it is important that you are clear of the procedures in your school and also your country, as well as your place as a teacher, as to how you go about reporting anything where your students' health, safety or welfare may be at risk. There are so many highlights in this career choice that I don't have time to discuss them all, but here are the few main ones that I feel are the focus at the moment. The first is you have the opportunity to make a difference on a young person's life. How amazing is this? Of course, this won't happen to every single student that you teach. However, just having the chance to make a small difference in their life is amazing. Plus, you are helping create memories in their life as well. I bet most of you remember when you were at high school, the teachers that you had and what they were like. This is a pivotal experience for each of your students and a pivotal time in their lives. So the next is that you get to be a role model to others. This is linked to what we have just discussed, and it gives you the opportunity to have a positive influence over your students and to role model qualities that will develop them as strong, confident, and creative individuals. The next highlight is personal fulfillment. So a year is a short period of time, and it makes such a difference. When I remember back to my students at the beginning of the year, and then I look to now and see how much that they've changed, I can't believe how much difference that the short amount of time has made. You can see how much they've grown, and this is by going through the tough times and then coming through the other side stronger as ever. Having the opportunity to contribute to this and going through the tough times with them, it really makes this career choice rewarding and fulfilling. Another highlight is personal development. You need to be so many things being an art teacher, such as a counsellor, a cleaner, a parent, a nurse, an artist, a designer. This combined with all of the qualities that we have just discussed truly makes you stronger and more confident in many areas of your life and your development as a person. Another highlight is that being an art teacher, it inspires your own art practice. Seeing your students create and develop their own work throughout the whole year, it really gives you that drive and inspiration to also be developing your own practice as well. Sometimes I might be teaching a particular technique in class, such as painting negative space, which is what we looked at last week, and seeing their outcome of what they've been experimenting with and how they've been developing that, it really excites me so much, and I just want to try it out myself. So I am actually going to make a video about this, which is coming up soon, so I'm also excited to share that with you all. The last highlight is meeting and getting to know so many amazing people. I do want to finish this off by acknowledging that you get to meet and work with so many knowledgeable, creative, talented educators. which is just so much fun. Of course, just like any other workplace, that you're not going to get along with everyone. However, you all are on this teaching journey together, and that is something really special for you all to share. You also do get to teach and get to know an amazing array of unique students. And these students do really make a difference to your life and touch your life in a special way. So finally, do I recommend becoming an art teacher? Of course, yes, definitely. Yes, the journey is long and tough. So I spent 4 years training at university for this, and then I spent an extra year going from my provisional to my full registration. However, it is so worth it. You will go through many ups and downs, and of course for you, I hope they're mostly ups, where you can go into your classroom being your true, authentic self, excited and passionate about your subject. Sometimes you may question yourself, and you may have days where things feel completely off or completely go wrong, and you question yourself a lot. But don't worry, this is all part of the process, and it will help you learn and grow as an art educator. Through my studies and placement training, quite a few people told me that I was too shy to teach, I wasn't resilient enough, and that the older students would even tear me apart. I was too caring, too soft and underconfident. But please know that teaching art is for all types of people and all types of personalities. You don't need to be overconfident, loud, strict, or even bubbly. If you just be yourself, have determination, and take the time to learn the skills that you need to know, then you will find your place, and this will be the right career choice for you. This is such a big lesson and has helped me find my place in the classroom, and it has helped me find who I am when I'm teaching my students. I hope both of these videos have really helped you understand and know that what it's like to be an art teacher, and have also given you some valuable advice if you are considering this career in the near future. Again, please like, subscribe, and drop any comments or questions that you might have in the description below. And I will see you again very soon. I look forward to it so much. Take care. Goodbye.